Welcome back everyone. The iPad 9th generation was an iPad that Apple actually released a couple of months ago by now, and what's very interesting is that this is the cheapest iPad Apple actually makes, but it is one of the most impressive things that Apple is able to push out consistently almost every single year, and for the value that it brings, it is easily one of my favorite devices ever. Now specifically with the iPad 9th generation, one thing that I was able to find is that this device actually is a pretty good performing machine when you consider the value that it is, so with the price tag as well as the amount of performance that you're getting from this thing, it's actually really impressive. Now one thing is, looks can be deceiving. With an iPad like this, of course it's not going to be as fast as the iPad, even the iPad mini 6, but it's definitely not going to be as fast as the M1 iPad Pros or anything. But with this iPad, you are getting some solid performance in this type of form factor, in this type of price tag. You can pick this thing up for $329, and if you're a student, it's actually a little bit cheaper than that, which is actually pretty interesting. So this thing has that Apple A13 Bionic chip built into it. So they mentioned that it's up to 20% faster GPU probably than its predecessor and all that stuff. So this thing has pretty much the same chipset as an iPhone 11. It has 3 gigs of RAM as far as I can tell, so definitely not like as spec'd out as an iPhone 11, but some things you have to keep in mind is that with that bigger display, it is one of my favorite things about this. When I look at an iPad and I look at my iPhone, I almost always prefer having an iPad if I can, just because of that bigger display. And on my third channel, I've been doing a lot of gaming, related videos now, and I like having a bigger display on an iPad. And with this iPad 9, it really does a great job with the performance. And that's not even touching the upgrade on the cameras, on the display with True Tone. Really anything you're going to do with it, it's going to be great. Now let me get into some details. Right now, if you're a student or somebody, this type of iPad is going to be totally fine for your use case. If you're somebody who writes up a lot of documents, if you're going on a lot of Zoom calls or Google Meets calls or whatever other calls that are associated with these iPads, you can use those totally fine. And because these iPads support multitasking and split screen multitasking, you can go from one iPad screen to the other and even have 2 applications built side by side, and you will never really be slowed down because these iPads support it. So that's a really massive thing. The fact that you have split screen multitasking makes things so much easier compared to an iPhone. But on top of that, with something like an iPad, you have a whole suite of apps that are suited and updated for these iPads. It's not like you're using some application that's supposed to be on another device that's ported over. That's not the case. A lot of these applications are built specifically for these iPads. So that is a really big thing to keep in mind as well. And all of those games that are supported it's just crazy. I was sitting here playing some heavy intensive games on this iPad, and I'm really happy and really surprised about the amount of performance and just the amount of capability behind these iPads. So what I will tell you is that after owning pretty much all the iPads in the last 3 years, including the iPad Air 4, the Mini 6, the 2 different iPad Pros or 3 different iPad Pros that came out the last 3 years, I can definitely tell you the iPad 9th generation is a very good performing machine. If you're afraid that it's not going to be able to handle everything you throw at it or it's not going to be as fast, that is not the case. You're definitely going to be getting a solid performing machine from the iPad 9th generation. Now, is it going to be as fast as the M1 iPad Pro? Probably not. It's not going to be as speedy and everything, but it's still going to be a fast iPad, and I would definitely recommend you for $329. It's a really good performing machine for sure. So in terms of that covers it up. If you guys have any other questions or anything, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.